Another insanely valuable free resource created by Deposit Kingdom. Royalty must be a day that ends in Y around here, people. Must be a day that ends in Y, because this is getting crazy. I mean, we keep hyping on the fact that there are so many sharp people in this community, and they're just giving away. They're just giving it away. Giving it away.
Selfless over here in the Deposit Kingdom. Easy. Welcome to the show, my guy. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. Been doing grinding in the streets. Started with like MLB dailies and stuff, but doing best ball. Yeah.
Beautiful.
How are your best ball teams looking right now for baseball? Are you hurting right now?
I got in baseball too late, so I'm doing all small sample stuff. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I only drafted 25 teams. We're fine. You just got to get one. Okay. Got to get one, the right one through.
Yeah.
I got Carlos Rodon a little bit. So
yeah. Well, it's all right. He's coming back. That could be a low-owned guy you need. So you're good. You're good. Well, regardless, it's a pleasure to have you on. This will be a fun show today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is fun. I was messing around with it just before we started here, and I haven't seen anything like it yet. I mean, we've talked about the buckets tool on here from John Boy Beats. We've obviously displayed Chad stuff over and over again. I have not seen anything that works in tandem with the draft quite like this. So kind of what's the brainchild behind this? How'd this come to fruition? I'm going to bring up the tool as we speak here. Let's walk us through it here, Eric.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, basically, so we all know, like, at least those of us like that found their way to this stream know, like, the whole week 17 is the only thing that matters, like how, like stacking. So we understand what you're supposed to do, right, conceptually, but I've yet to see it quantified in a clear way of like how much stacking matters and how much stacking impacts who you should draft. How much should you stack? How much does week 17 matter? How much do weeks 15 and 16 matter when this year only 1 out of 16 advance in those weeks? So like there's a lot of good resources like the Leone Draft Capital tool, like the whole manifesto is pretty insane. But I spent a lot of time, I'm trying to solve for like, we know week 17 matters, but how do you know when should you reach for Gabe Davis to add on to Josh Allen? Like if naked Gabe Davis, his ADP is 80, let's say. Naked Gabe Davis might be like pick 100, but with Josh Allen, he might be pick 60. And like, I hadn't seen that. So basically, so that's what I did. I like pulled in some projections and tried, and like, I've looked through data over the last 2 years very specifically and kind of archetyped players based on like similar profiles and kind of, tweak the whole player pool. So as you draft, it kind of updates the rankings.
Did some of that historical data help? So like, I mean, not to, I might be burying the lead here. So part of this tool is you have like a correlation quantifier essentially, right? Like you said, like you were trying to solve for quantifying correlation because we know it's good, but you're trying to solve for it. Did you use like historical data to help get you to that number, or was that more just like a subjective, like here's what I think?
I try to have very little subjectivity in here because it's like so hard. Like, why would anyone trust me? Though I probably do ask you to trust me like a little bit, but like, so look through game logs of like every team, every player for the last 2 years specifically, and also looked at some industry research on bringbacks because it's a DFS topic that has some like data around it where, QB correlates X with his wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, RB1, whatever, and the opposite. But then I was looking at season long data too, because obviously when you're betting on, let's say, Patrick Mahomes, and let's say Patrick Mahomes has a good season, how much does that boost his wide receiver 1, 2, 3, etc.? That's kind of all built in to here.
Cool. Nice. Wow. I mean, already it's a pretty crazy resource. And then when you factor in what we're going to do with it alongside a draft, it's kind of like, whoa. I want to go back to the Gabe Davis example for a second there. Just in terms of like your understanding and findings now, does that boost it from like an 100 ADP to an 80 now that you've been utilizing this tool and have that stuff in there?
Yeah, for sure. So like,
Okay.
let me look at Gabe Davis. And Gabe Davis is a funny one. So his ADP right now is 78. I have him ranked at 87. This is just based on what I'm using right now is my Clay's projections. Once I get better projections, I'll update it.
Okay.
I have him ranked at 87. It's kind of formula based on like upside plus his baseline projections and how I weight the different positions.
Okay.
So like if I were to add Josh Allen in round 2 to this random Jamar Chase team,
Okay.
he'll actually pop up here eventually. Yeah, so Gabe Davis goes from the 87th ranked player in the pool to number 65 because he gets boosted 11%. Having Josh Allen, part of that is like the Josh Allen bet for the full season means like he's going to elevate his receivers, but also it hyper sensitive in the playoffs. So,
interesting.
Okay,
interesting. I really like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
now you alluded to it off the top, like this boosting metric and stuff like that, and kind of like what definitively went into the boosting metric.
So looking at just every different example of same week correlations of QB receiver to receiver. So here, T Higgins, you'll see he's actually a -7 because you have Jamar Chase on a single week, and it's intuitive. Like their upside is capped. Obviously, once you add, if you were to add Joe Burrow, which you wouldn't do in round 2, but obviously, like let's pretend you did, then they both become positive because now you're betting on Cincinnati. So just looking at, and it's not specific T Higgins. T Higgins is just kind of an archetype. Like T Higgins is similar to, I don't know, Devontae Smith or like other wide receiver 1-2 fringe guys. So there's like enough history when you like kind of classify QBs. Like Josh Allen, Mahomes have similar impacts to their receivers. Lamar Jackson might be more similar to like a Daniel Jones type, and how many pass catchers they elevate. And then, yeah. And so like Anthony Richardson doesn't elevate his pass catchers like a ton. Of course it does, but yeah, it's a little, so the rookies don't have that history, but there's like enough archetype stuff.
Cool. Wow. Okay. So there's the single week correlation goes into the boost metric. There goes the archetype and projections of historical, like kind of like past comparisons goes into the boost metric as well. Huh.
Yeah.
This is cool, man. This is great.
Yeah. And you can add like, if you're doing a contest that doesn't have week 17, like you can just set these to 0 and it'll actually just stop correlating week 17. You'll still get like the Jamar Chase. I actually haven't tested to see if this works. I just added this. Okay. But yeah, so you'll notice here, like it's actually not boosting Mahomes at all because it doesn't matter. Like if you're playing in that, like let's say like you really care about week 15, then it'll start to boost Mahomes a bit. So
nice.
So you can like
that's cool because like
stuff.
Yeah. No, I really like that because it's just like even if you just want to get different, right? If you just want to tell yourself like, how can I like get different in my drafts? Well, if you adjust these boosts, then you can see these recommendations where you're getting like combinations that maybe you aren't necessarily seeking out if you are like waiting more for week 16, because I mean 1 out of 16 is still hard as hell to get through. So I really like that. This is like really unique. I like that, like you said, it's some trust in you, but I do trust you in the formulas that are going on. And but I mean, this is cool to like see like the recommendations and the dynamic ADPs as opposed to extensions. It's really cool. Like I really dig this.
It really brings to head a concept that perhaps ADP is an artificial construct. I mean, maybe many have said it may be a fluid dynamic out here. I have a question how you arrived at the boosting of the correlation at 8 point. If you jump back to the previous page where we were selecting. Yeah. So, how'd you arrive at like 8? It says 8.8% there.
Yeah. One day I just made that up. I don't have like a really great, I don't remember. It might be like 1 out of 17, like plus like a bit, basically meaning, so like this is arbitrary, but week 17 isn't all that matters this year because there is like 5 million to the first, to the regular season, but Obviously, week 17 matters a lot for winning the 3 million. So this is just like weeks 15 and 16 matter more than regular season, but like about a third of what week 17 matters. And again, if like this is one where you can kind of go in and do your own math, it won't change it a lot. But I think it's like when you're sitting on the clock, it's so hard. It's hard enough to remember the week 17s unless you're a sicko like us. Like week 15 and 16, it like I know Derrick Henry's week 15 matchup, but that's it. I don't know anyone else's. So this has it in there, and you can make this only 5%, and it'll still like be meaningful and add like a little bit. Because like this shows like even just Jamar Chase, he correlates with so many players. Just so Nate has it. It was like I made it 1.5 times the weeks 1 through 14. That's subjective, but yeah, I just wanted to give it a little bit of weight there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I think that's a good starting point. Whether that's definitively like 100% accurate or not, who the fuck knows, right? Like time will tell, but like that's a good benchmark to start with. I think you're right there. Man, this is cool. Okay, so right now for your utility of this, you're using this fast drafts, slow drafts, you're punching them in manually as you go. How you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I do for everything. It's very easy for slow drafts because you can be very thoughtful, but all the players are here in a drop down. You just start typing the name and it goes in. So like, we'll see how easy it is to host and do it for the first time. But but like, I do it for fast drafts too. I find it pretty easy. And you start to get used to it, and like at the end of the day, you like ultimately click the buttons that you want to click, right? Like we're playing like a high variance contest, so like no matter how good the sheet may or may not be, it's just like kind of a guiding tool, and ultimately like click the buttons you want to click. But I think it's
that's a really good caveat for all these tools, because I mean I've been hearing so much chatter on the internet right now, and people are talking sample size this, and people are talking about is this representative. Hey guys, it doesn't fucking matter. It's like we've said 1,000 times. Having this is better than having nothing, and this is the evolution of games. It doesn't have to be definitively correct at day one. We're going to eventually work to that point in time. You know what's better than not having this? Having this, right? Like this is what we're working towards, right?
Yep.
In building this and looking at like all the other data that's out there, has this changed the way that you think about creating any of your teams, or is it just like just a way to like track and help you like find targets?
Maybe I'm biased, but like I don't know how I would draft without it at this point. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and like maybe it just buries me. But I think this year, especially with week 15 and 16, like having that correlation and knowing how much it matters. Because like when you're thinking about tiers, and we talk about like running back tiers, like I don't know, in pick 70 to 80, like the Rashad White, like how do you choose between Rashad White, Pacheco, Swift? Like you might be biased, but if you just strip down the bias and say like, I've made these bets on my first 6 picks, what does that mean for the rest of my team? Like I think that I've kind of planted my flag that this is going to decide for me.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, yeah, like my mind goes to like some randomized interval of distribution for each of those players, but that's effectively what this is doing, but baking in the correlation aspect. So there actually is a correct bet.
Yeah. And like, if you care, like we can build a team. I've started to put in like fake sims based on range of outcomes that I've looked at by kind of player archetypes. So like Derrick Henry has a different range of outcomes, similar to Nick Chubb, but like less similar to, I don't know, like a pass catching running back might be a little smoother. So I've built that in, and it kind of simulates the season. You can look, it's a cool thing for like week 18. Like, oh, I don't know. Is a third QB better or a third tight end better? So this is better for slow drafts. You can type it in and it'll readjust. It'll simulate the season a bunch. Simulate, I'm using like air quotes there. It's just like Excel formulas, but yeah.
That's so sick. Okay, let's do something kind of fun just as before we jump in a draft with it. Let's just mess around with like the first 3 rounds or something, because everyone's so familiar with the first 3 rounds. We see the patterns emerge, blah, blah, blah. Let's do something like from the 12 where everybody does the little double tap of CeeDee Lamb plus Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that feels like a pretty like quote unquote chalky start.
Yeah.
Just Numi came in. Numi just snuck back in there. He was having some internet issues or power issues, and now he's back in there. He just came in quietly, didn't know where the fuck we were at, and it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna learn for a minute here.
Thought we had a red alert for a minute.
1000%. I came in and I'm like, I am just gonna listen to where this conversation is and try and pick up because it's miles beyond. So yeah.
Okay, let's see this. Okay, so now the first suggestion here with like Breece Hall pops up. Is that because ADP lines up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't. So unlike the browser extension, this doesn't know what's happening in your draft, let alone like we just made up a draft. So it takes.
Sure.
So it's like you're going to be on the clock at pick 36. Here's everyone from ADP 5 before that to 15 after that, and then later in the draft it adds and goes like 20 or 25 after that.
Okay.
If someone were to fall, like, I don't know, Josh Allen or something, like you can add that in. Oh, you can't see it because my screen is dumb, but then like you can add guys here. So again, like you might have to have quick fingers if like shit goes weird, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's interesting that you can also add to the queue side too. You can manually add to the queue side.
Yeah.
If that occurs. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, in your experience now, when you've been in slows and say you've seen like a noteworthy drop of like 6, 7, 8 spots at ADP, because you said it goes 5 before. So let's say a player that was 10 spots before. Has that happened for you in a slow draft yet where that player is there? Does the model prioritize that player almost every time, regardless of position?
Usually, yeah. If it's a guy that the model likes, and like the model meaning like projections, like, I don't know, you're not going to get like JSN's like projections and stuff are just like not great as an example. So like it's not going to give you JSN super often, but like Josh Allen here, actually Josh Allen, funny enough, does correlate, so maybe a bad example, but like Jalen Hurts, I don't think will correlate. So it'll say like, oh yeah, Jalen Hurts was the 20th. He's now ranked 22, but if he's on the board at 36, like smash, it doesn't matter. You figure out the correlations later. So it's not like a lot of times if you go into like a full Slappy Boy room and you see like every single pick is correlated and like that's super fun. But if Jalen Hurts is sitting there, like you probably shouldn't pass on him to take Jahmyr Gibbs, though you could probably double tap that.
Yeah. This is cool. So now, what do you think your rosters end up looking like at the end of a draft comparative to like what the average person or even, one of us three end up looking like, just in terms of pieces of correlation, like comparative to average based on using on this tool?
So this calculates like the baseline points and what the correlated points are. I've seen like up to 10% boost in aggregate, which is actually a lot. 5 to 10% is pretty good. So again, I think people organically, like if you're drafting with good principles, you're organically going to get some level of boost. But this kind of keeps track of how many you've stacked. I try not to get more than like 5 from a game or like 4 from one side of a game. Things like that. It starts to be diminishing returns after a certain point.
Right.
And we kind of highlighted that with the Jamar Chase pick in the selection, and then we saw Higgins was negatively correlated. But when we added Joe Burrow, of course, it canceled that out and then ended up being positive. Does this sheet like have a pretty good understanding of like, does it make decisions on when you are correlating too much, or will it almost always be slightly positive if you're if you're stacking a team?
It sort of depends on like the QB. You like it's not an auto drafter because like if you just let it go, it doesn't know that you've already taken 7 receivers or running backs. At some point, I'll build that in. So you have to kind of track that. It's not exactly like the brick tool. It's sort of like a recommendations tool more than it is like a full auto draft, because I don't want to do an auto drafter. No. I think that would probably be bad / like not cool with TOS, but like I'll use like the Chiefs example. Like if you go Kelsey, Mahomes, like, I don't know, you're not taking Rashee Rice here, but like after a certain point, it's like he's at 7. This is like a insane boost, but as you keep adding pieces, McKinnon actually helps. But like MBS, like at some point now you're like, it's everything helps Mahomes, but it starts to hurt everyone else. Like the more pieces that you add. So like
Right.
Rice was at 16%. If you add Sky Moore to this team, now they go down to 13. So like they're all still good bets. There's definitely diminishing returns, and you're starting to like counteract your previous bets. So like it's a little subjective, but I try not to do more than like 4 from a team. It depends on the team, obviously, but
I'd be really interested to see what happens if you take out a couple before you take everything out. Okay, never mind. Well, I was just thinking. Okay, there we go. I want to see what it looks like with 2 running backs from the same team.
Oh yeah, it depends if you have the QB.
Okay.
So here it's like, okay, you're just like giga stacking the Chiefs, like smart, you're amazing. Now if you take out Mahomes,
right.
It's like you're still betting on the Chiefs, and they have correlated. They're slightly positively correlated. That might just be like the Chiefs are good type thing, but it depends on who the running backs are. I don't know if like the Eagles ones might be like negatively. Yeah, they're slightly positively correlated just on the full season. In the single week, they're probably negatively correlated, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah,
it does.
At what point do we deem a boost impact almost negligible? Like that 1% right there, like that shouldn't really move the needle for us, kind of deal.
It doesn't. It depends on how early it is, because a 1% boosted round 5, you can tack on 2 more things to that.
True.
Like,
yeah,
if you're thinking of like the Giants, for example, and like you take Daniel Jones to stack with Cooper Kupp, like it's minimal, but then you can still tack on 2 guys to that. So you have to be mindful of that too.
Right. This is fun as hell. Okay, let's put this into practice. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now that I'm thinking about this, Easy, I think it might be really cool if you run the sheet, I run the draft, and we bounce back and forth, opposed to opposed to side by side, just the way that the windows will work.
That works.
Okay,
let's get a little help. We have a scribe now for the drafts.
This is absolutely unreal. Like I came in at a time where I'm just like, all right, like yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and I'll share the link. I'm like always updating it. I've got like a list of things that I'm trying to add. I also have like if you don't trust my math, you can use ADPs, and it'll do the same thing. And I'm gonna try and add something where you can put in your like rankings. You can import ETR rankings, anything. Doesn't exist yet, but at some point it will. So
nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was like if you like when the plan was to publicly release at all, or if you were like when you were, I was gonna just kind of let you on your own time when you felt comfortable doing that for the people that are clamoring. Oh yeah, we got a lot of friends and family in here today. GA
Viper.
So it might be good to that we'll have the sheet off screen and then bring it in as necessary instead of broadcasting to everyone the queue.
Okay,
I love
sounds
that.
Good.
Viper's in here. Is that baby Stevie?
I was just gonna say, I think that's baby Stevie. If I'm just going off of a green avatar and the BAB.
Yeah, it's got to be baby Stevie. I don't. John won't let us know though.
I like this.
You got to be a level 100 Deposit Kingdom Discord member to get access to it.
Yeah, for those who don't know and are just watching, Easy laps the field in clout in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, like level 1 million now.
Absolute royalty.
Absolute royalty indeed.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time online.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay, let's see.
No, Stevie, you're not supposed to snipe.
Who's on the? Go to the. I just want to see who's on the 10 and 11. Quick, is it just 2 more badges? No. Okay. Cool. Oh yeah, I mean, there's Icy. There's Icy.
Yeah.
You see a lot. Yeah.
And Pimp Daddy Matt.
Pimp Daddy Matt is absolutely winning this draft already. We should just quit.
Yeah,
There's no way he doesn't draft like
He's like,
5
these are the
running
guys
backs
that are gonna
in
have
the
the
first
name
6 rounds.
competition. I got to get in this draft to showcase my underdog username.
Oh, I love it.
That's how you know this is a good time to draft when Pimp Daddy Matt is in these lobbies with you.
So now this early, okay, so in my mind right now, the best utilization of the tool is after kind of like you just make a round 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
Or will
draft who you
yeah.
like. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, gentlemen.
John.
Let's take a I kind of want to do the AJ Brown because I want to see what it'll tell us to do, if it'll tell us to push up Hurts or push up Smith in the second round. That's what I kind of want to do, just for
I
experimentation.
think I know what it'll say, but let's do AJ Brown. I feel like we don't take a lot of AJ Brown on stream.
We don't.
Right.
It's
Easy,
normally
good.
Yeah. I'm not super high on AJ Brown, but in this, like, you can't not have a receiver here.
No, he's interesting, right? I'm like higher on him like from a week to week basis, but from season long, I feel like you do kind of have to put a little extra effort into advancing him just because he has some like really cold weeks. But he also can drop like 3 receiving touchdowns and look like, and do it all sometimes. So Eagles are interesting to me. All right, there goes Eckler.
Appreciate you, Asset. People, be like Asset. He's a smart man right here. Thank you. Do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that follow, so we can keep hanging out.
And yes, Carlos, today is a holiday. I'm sorry if you don't have off on work, but today is Juneteenth. So yes, it is indeed a holiday.
Oh, there you go.
All right, we got 2 more picks coming up. So Devontae Adams has been falling like a lot lately, and I think if he happens to fall to us, I mean, I'm not sure what the sheet would say, but I know what I would say.
He's gone.
Never mind. And I saw him fall to 17 this morning. 17. Wow. I just don't think that is that's sound.
All right,
people not.
Let's do this easy.
Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
Who does this?
It's saying like you gotta get Hurts, but I will asterisk that like if you think you can get Hurts in round 3, you do that.
Okay.
Or if you want to go a receiver or running back, I think it's fine. But like Hurts is great, or you're probably better off pushing it to round 3 and going like Olave here, I think.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, therein lies
the 2022 correlation there too, by the way.
Oh, do they play in the playoffs?
Last year.
Oh, shit.
Broken brain stuff.
2022.
Yeah, I thought he heard him say that's 2022 correlation. I'm like, that does us absolutely nothing.
No, you don't get any points for that.
That's just for pure bid equity. Okay, that's interesting though, because therein lies the difference between auto drafter and just a model in which we are progressively learning alongside. Because right there, this suggests, hey, we need to get Hurts on this team, but we still made a decision that defies, like, quote unquote, defies the sheet there because of our manual inputs of sometimes Hurts falls. Right. So I do think that's an important caveat to just the distinction between auto drafter and what this tool is doing for us.
Yeah. I mean, you probably end up getting cucked a lot by the Devontae Smith guy. Like, it is what it is. I think it's going to be, you have to make decisions, right? At the end of the day, like, I think it's going to be very hard to advance teams with round 1 to AJ Brown, Hurts, just because so many, I don't think AJ Brown's an amazing first round pick. And B, like, there's so many round 3 Hurtses now. I think it's going to be hard to be competitive without a round 2 pick on that team. So that's why you're like, yeah, I appreciate that Hurts is going to be good for this team, but I'm trying to shoot for the moon on every draft.
Right.
That's a great point. Yeah, because we definitively know round 3 Hurts exists at some frequency. I don't know how we can quantify it and see what frequency that is, but just knowing that compared to other builds does put you, and then you have the whole debate about, well, what about the combos that person would never have access to this round 3 player, and that round 3 player is the one you need, blah, blah, blah. But it's more likely that Hurts in round 3 is the guy you need comparative to Hurts in round 2 and Ramondre Stevenson in round 3 is the guy you need, right?
Yeah. What I can quantify though, John, is that this like ratio to viewer is absolutely just sad and pathetic. So like John just said, hit that sub if you're not, but just more importantly, if you're in here watching, to the 45 and only 16 likes, boom, easy, done.
You don't want to make Numi tilt, man.
No pun intended. Hey, we don't have the emotes yet. Yeah. But and then as the algorithm and everything wants, just leave a comment, whether it be anything in there. How amazing this tool is, whether you can't wait for it, anything coming up. But just, leave any comment when this is done. It does us wonders. All right, cool.
Thank you for the housekeeping.
It's got to be done.
Thank you, sir. Wow, that is wild. Wait, when did he go 25?
I'm glad did he go to, John? I'm glad we have 2 receivers.
Oh.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's the,
Christian Watson went. GA took him at 25.
That's the new Galaxy Brain strat is taking Watson at the 3-1 to pair with your Justin Jefferson. Yeah,
because he never comes back the other way. So if you want that week 17, you have to pull it there.
Yeah.
All right. What's the sheet suggesting to us? We got a little bit of a Josh Jacobs fall here. We got a little bit of a DK fall here.
I mean, it would be Josh Jacobs or DK or Debo. I mean, DK, you can end up correlating. It's like a week 15 with AJ Brown, but this is a pretty good value for Jacobs. But I do like DK also in this room.
Yeah, do DK.
Okay, let's say DK.
Let's go.
You gotta be more definitive, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to draft the entire team. I'm just here to.
No. We're drafting the entire team. The clock
is only so long.
Yeah,
we're drafting the entire team.
Josh Jacobs came out there. So
no, that was good. We're on stream. I think we need to lean into more of like the streaming meta. If we're gonna stream, we gotta really lean into it and take some wide receivers. And my influence has been too strong on taking too many running backs, getting too weird.
The Ole Miss correlation.
The whole miscorrelation. I love that.
Yeah. A couple grown ass men.
What's that worth in the boost? Yeah, what's the grown ass man boost metric in there? Easy.
We need. That's the next column that's getting out is BMIs.
If there's enough demand, we can build anything with enough time and demand. But it's not in there right now.
The PSM correlation.
There is some sort of like PSM model in here in that like I give extra boost to guys like Metcalf and Mike Evans, like touchdown scorers, and guys with absolute ceilings versus say a Keenan Allen, where on this type of scoring, having those spikier profiles definitely helps.
Okay. Playing alongside at home here, we got 3 in there. This is telling us DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Fields, or Ken Walker for a little bit of boost. Who do we like?
It's probably early for Walker. There. You can go Gibbs or Hop.
Yeah, Hop. Let's piss it. Let's just piss down our legs.
Let's just continue to,
Let's just keep going.
This is like a weird pocket of the draft, right? If you're in this position like we are and you take 3 wide receivers off the jump and you're kind of like hungry to get some running backs on this team. Well, like ETN and Gibbs as those running backs available aren't like the most appetizing picks to be those RB1s that you see ETN and Gibbs fall routinely in rooms. I'm personally a little higher on ETN than like our community. I won't say the field because I think his ADB is fine, but in our community, people are really down on ETN, and I'm just like not certain that's warranted or not. But I like going Hopkins there.
Okay, I like it. I can agree with that. Our internet father. One of our internet fathers, Pete is our other internet dad. Our internet father, T-Box, hanging out in the chat. Numi, I thought you got the. This is on Numi because we all signed the card. We sent it to Numi. Numi had to sign it last and then send it to you, Pops. So it's probably coming, T-Box.
Let's blame customs. It's probably still like it's trying to get its way into the country over here at this point.
Customs.
Like for some reason, Nez didn't send it to me. He sent it to you first. So we had to go from what? From US to Canada and back to the US. It's just silliness. Silliness on your guys' part.
I love it, man. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring up the model again here so we can play alongside and progressively plan. So are you so easy as these picks are going right now? Are you manually removing like Chris Godwin as he gets picked and like that sort of thing? Or it's
No.
just assuming those picks are happening because it's 5 from ADP?
Yeah, it assumes that Godwin might be there, and it assumes that Evans almost definitely will be there. I mean, depending on the room. So again, it doesn't know it doesn't tap into underdog directly, which makes it a little imperfect, but
which also makes it great for terms of service, though.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
So I must have missed this. You have on the basically next pick available, you have ADP, rank, and adjusted. Is that adjusted rank that changes throughout basically your adjusted rank that changes throughout when you're drafting players?
Exactly. Yeah. So
gotcha. Cool. Okay.
Like these Tampa guys are up a little bit because of the Olave pick earlier, essentially. So it's not like huge, but it's a decent bit, right? Like almost half a round.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's what I was trying to just do in my head. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay. Interesting. So
about to be on the clock.
It's so we're leaning into now. It's interesting that the Arizona one gets a boost there, but that Arizona boost is for
AJ Brown.
Oh, it's for AJ Brown. Okay.
Yeah.
I was in my mind, I was like, oh, that's for Hopkins, but definitely.
No, I like that we got the preemptive New England.
Yeah, I put him there. Let's choose your own.
And I saw with Dalvin Cook too. I saw AJ Joe Burrow.
So
huge fall.
So both the Tampa guys one of the Tampa guys is still there in Evans. Marquise Brown is here.
I feel like we got to do like Mixon, Jones, or Hawk personally. I think like we've got quite a few wide receivers here. I think it's time to
say a name.
I said 3.
Go Mix.
Okay.
Say a name.
Say a name. Don't say 3. Say 1.
It's for everybody else.
Be definitive.
Burrow. I don't think I've seen Burrow get passed on by like that much. It's like Burrow would have been like a naked Burrow here, like grades out really well, but that's just one of those that you're gonna do. You're gonna have Burrow. You're gonna go into battle with like Burrow, Boyd, and Irv Smith, and like try and take on all the Chase and Higgins teams.
I know it's interesting. It feels like a good play for like advancing, and it's just like, hey, kind of like, or just getting regular season points. Obviously, like advancing / earning your way up to that regular season prize.
Yeah.
Which I guess like, on stream we will like never draft for, and for everybody else, I mean, like
I plan on winning both. So on the same team, that would be pretty nice.
So let's make this pick and then let's talk about how you think that's doable.
Dude, it's not our pick yet, but
we got one more here. Baby Stevie here.
I think
you take now you have Mixon, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So now you're not just set out to drive with Boyd, and now you got it. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, if the room is gonna give us Joe Burrow 20 picks past ADP, Jesus.
Yeah.
This only happens for John. I swear to God, I'm at home in the privacy of my own home, offline. No badge brigade in my drafts, and I can't get. But nobody runs purer than old John Boy. I'll tell you that much, man. That is,
guys.
Get a little correlation,
guys. We know this already. All right, I sun run life. That's how I'm here. Okay, let's talk. Easy. Let's talk about this for a sec because I'm really curious. When you say obviously you plan on winning both, everyone who plays these games has intentions. It's a good bit. It's a great thing. How would you optimize for winning both?
Like the honest answer is you can't, because you really can unless you run like the purest of pure. You can't do it in the same draft. That was just a joke, but I don't know. I feel pretty confident about a couple of things this year. I've got like 60% Derrick Henry, got 50% Taysom Hill. Like these are my guys. So
okay, cool.
I feel like I'm gonna stumble into the nuts.
So but you're still
it's really hard. You can't do both on the same team, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Fair enough. But like, it's interesting to know that you have a tool like this that is teaching us the boost and the correlation and this sort of stuff. Yet you're still taking a pretty hyper exploitative player take stance on a couple of players.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
like
cool.
ADP is decent, but when you sit in drafts and you see people click things, it's like, how can ADP be that good? Like there's some things that I think are just wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like on certain guys that I don't know. I've been playing DFS for forever, it feels like, and a lot of times go home with 0, but like when you win, what do you win when you win type stuff. And I try and be exploitative, especially like on player takes. Part of it's player takes, part of it's just like player archetypes of like, I'm going to bet on breakout type guys, whether that's young guys or guys that can score touchdowns and things like that. So
do you think the field is like really misunderstanding Taysom Hill's upside?
Oh yeah.
Just based on like where how you have him and where he's going?
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you think like QB like
always and stuff?
Yeah. Do you think like QB reps are in his range of outcomes, or are you just looking for that rushing upside that he had like last year? Well, hold on, we have this.
He'll get some.
We're clock right now.
What's the
Swift, Cook, QJ. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page for you.
Swift is there.
Waller.
So is
Swift would be good, or you can go Waller, and now you probably don't need Daniel Jones. So like, I think I like Swift here.
I'd say Swift or Waller. Yeah,
Swift.
You might be able to get Waller to fall because there's a lot of tight ends.
Let's jump to the sheet for a second here and just see what the Swift here. Okay, I was trying to see if Swift, we got a little bit of Brown,
so that's nice.
Yeah, we get a little bit of boost with that, right?
Yeah.
For sure, because now you're just betting on like the Eagles offense being good.
This team
now
screams
it's telling us
a 2 QB team with Kyler Murray for John.
Oh yeah,
of course he does.
For sure.
That's it.
I like to add a Cardinal here, but
yeah.
I woke up this morning thinking that. I didn't
go to bed. You go to bed. The only
I didn't need the tool. I didn't need the tool to tell me that this was a two quarterback Kyler team, guys. with Taysom in the 14th. Don't you worry, guys. I knew that one already.
John's in the sheet already.
The meme like, oh, he's thinking of other girls or something like that. It's like, no, I'm freaking thinking adding a two QB Kyler Murray that drops 2 rounds with a.
I'm thinking of 2 things right now. It's Brady doubles and it's naked Kyler, guys. That's all I'm thinking about.
That's all you ever think about. This is setting up really nicely here.
Yeah, easy. What's the sheet telling us right now in terms of this Connor pick? Or is it telling us that it likes?
Gotta be Connor's interesting because like he grades well with the Eagles bet, but net it's like relatively neutral. So like if you like Connor, you can take him. I mix it in. Connor RB3. I don't know that I want an RB3 yet. Like I kind of like Waller here.
What do we like?
Because it's a really good value, and I don't know. I don't want to have 3 running backs and 8 picks in this room.
There's some correlation there too, right?
Yeah, there will be, and you can like add to it. Like our first 2 picks both play the Giants like week 16 and week 15.
Oh,
so
that's
it's like
sick.
It's like a little bit. So it's only 1% right now.
Oh, it's huge. It's everything. What are you talking about?
Boosting all over the place. We're boosting all over this sheet. All right.
Darren Waller goes from 9.9 to 10 points. I mean, that might be the difference between 10 grand and $1 million. You never know.
Right. Let's go.
I love the like you get
iPads
to visualize visualizing the correlation boost and points per game is a nice column there, and column I like that.
Yeah.
Visually appealing to see that move and adjust when we're to see that happen.
I'll asterisk what I haven't done yet, and like when I have time, I'll eventually do it. Is like it takes Kyler. In the rankings, it's like, oh yeah, Kyler's only going to play 10 games. Yeah, I mean, you can only have so much bias, but I think that's reflected in my stands on my account. I'm like super exploitative, but what I was saying is like Kyler in the rankings, it knows or it thinks Kyler's playing 10 games. When I do the Sims it doesn't know that Kyler is missing that, I will bake that in. And what I want, part of like something else that I want to do, and like this is like hyper nerd shit, is like for rookies, I want to look at their point distribution, because like early, like Devin A-Chain, like his week, let's say his full season average is 8 points per game and making it up.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely it starts at like 4, 6, 8 and ends up at 12.
Yeah.
So this doesn't know that yet. And that actually is fairly interesting to how you build for week 17. We're talking about like rookies like a Garrett Wilson last year, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So if and when I have time, I'll try and look at things like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool. Yeah, I like that. I mean, obviously, it's like a caveat of like we're simply like we're making assumptions by doing that, but I think it's really helpful for people to get that visualization, right? Because we know that rookies come on late, but even if it's just an assumption, to see some form of a quantification of that, I think it can be really helpful for drafters.
Can we pull up? I don't know. We're not super on the clock yet. Can we pull up Chipsky's Taysom Hill chirp?
Sure.
So he could be the RB4, but he could also be the QB1 and the tight end 1 and the RB1. In like Drew Brees' last year, Taysom Hill had like 8 touchdowns. Part of that, like Drew Brees got hurt and Taysom played some QB, but he had, I don't know, he's like caught 5 touchdowns in like Drew Brees' second to last year. They're talking about like he's talking about his like route tree and shit this year. To me,
and the OTA stuff was really positive too. Moving all over the field, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah. Oh, we just got cucked on Tyler Boyd.
So my bro science brain was going Tyler Boyd the whole way.
What are we doing, Vibe?
What's the sheet telling us?
Sir Daniel of House Dimes.
Do it.
Even though we can get Kyler later, so like then you can just pick like running back of your choice. So
true. Get these running backs are just so like unappealing. I'm cool with just like getting Daniel Jones out of the way.
And we don't have Cardinals yet.
RBs. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have Cardinals yet, so like we don't have to bet on Kyler. It would be fun, but we don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stevie agrees with you. Numi takes Gibson there.
I have so much Gibson and Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
more Gibson, I mean, but
the offensive coordinator boost and that there's a lot of good reasons to get on those Commanders running backs right now.
And they were cheaper too, as of just like 2 weeks prior. Like they were not up, like you could get them like in the 115s, sometimes in the 120s. Like they would just continue. Like one of them would fall into that like 120, 130 range. Sometimes it was nice.
I'm worried about there's like some Kareem Hunt risk. I don't know how real that is, but like I saw the blurb on like that they were looking into Kareem Hunt, which only makes me think like they've had Antonio Gibson, like Ron Rivera has seen Antonio Gibson for the last however many years. And like we know, like we're always tilting about his workload, and like this guy played receiver in college and he's not even catching passes out of the backfield in the NFL. And now it's like bringing Kareem Hunt is like, oof. I was high on Gibson. Now I'm cooling down. We'll see how blurb season treats me.
Yeah, that blurb isn't great. Not a great blurb.
But it's blurbs, right? It's like June. We have a lot of time to panic and overreact about stuff.
I need these running backs to sign already, so that way I can. Because to me, I'm like I'm like way less concerned about where they sign, and I'm way more interested in where they don't sign. Because wherever they don't sign, totally agree. It makes me just like I'm looking at those teams and like I'm just reading so many tea leaves, and it's going to be a really big shift in the market, of course, for those teams that don't get hit with those grenades.
We're on the clock here. Tyler Boyd's gone. It tells us to take Penny and mix.
Yeah,
Penny
I would IKB that and probably not go Penny.
Okay.
But like,
do we want to do something like
Mitchell? Or whatever, Damian Harris, like whatever running back you kind of like, it's fine.
Harris, Mitchell, or McKinnon correlation, or Rondale Moore correlation.
I'm cool with Harris.
Harris, it was.
I am like, I'm fine with that.
I was just waiting for the Nez Mitchell plea, but it was just Nez was kind of like, my thoughts on that. Like, take him if you want.
I can't tout Mitchell and Khalil Herbert every single show. I said I just can't. I get tired of it. I get tired of it myself. That's what I have my own.
Yeah.
That's what I have my own drafts for. Yeah. Kid Cudi knows. Is that just my burner? Who's to say? I was like, for whatever reason, I feel like I'm cooling off on my Damian Harris clicks. Like, I still think that his upside is like immense if Buffalo actually changes their philosophy with Josh Allen and they're like, you're no longer the battering ram. But I don't know. I was way more bullish on him in the big board than I am right now. But I don't know. We'll see where things go. So Easy, you are a new or like East Coast guy, and it sounds like you're Giants over Jets in your football fandom. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
did that start at a
growing
young
up
age, or go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like growing up in like the Eli Manning era, and then kind of re-solidified when they took Saquon. I'm a big Penn State guy, so
right.
Like I care more about
nice.
Penn State like infinitely than I do the Giants.
Alma mater?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like very openly biased. Like at the end of the day, there's just so much variance in things. I'd rather, if I'm going to lose, like, which most likely in games like this, you're going to lose, I'd rather lose because like, I just like pick my guys and I can like feel good about it.
Right. Cause isn't it
nothing
just like
wrong?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than like betting against what you want and then losing anyway. It's like,
yes. Oh, it's the worst.
I don't know. I'm not big on hedging. I'm not big on like betting against my team. It's like, if I'm going to be wrong, just let me be wrong.
Yes.
That is peak full circle from making crazy sheet, being sicko mode, phone shitter bro. That is like the infinite loop of these games, playing these games in our minds. We are all phone shitter bro. We got a little bit of McKinnon run back correlation here. Is the sheet giving us a boost job on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
man.
It really does like McKinnon. Yeah.
I'm as smart as the sheet right now.
I was just going to say, John, the sheet.
For this pick.
Yeah, what do we...
Converging.
All right. McKinnon makes a lot of sense there. And then it's saying it really likes the boost for Higbee. Oh, wow. MVS vaults Higbee after we make the McKinnon pick.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Plus, that might just be like his ADP was so low, it was hiding MVS.
Okay.
I actually kind of like MVS more than Rashee Rice. If you disagree, then you can take Rice. But like a chief wide receiver looks good here. But now we have to start thinking about like, is Irv Smith going to be here at 153 type stuff? Like probably like he's at 150. So that could get picked off. Like, are we okay going to battle with just Mixon and Burrow? Like at these ADPs, maybe.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Because like Irv Smith is the last Bengal. I don't know. I guess
there's Chase Trent Irwin or whatever, right? Is he still there? Is he still the wide receiver 4?
Yeah, Trent Irwin.
Trent Irwin. I can't wait for Trent Irwin chalk week. It's so inevitable, and I can't wait. And I cannot wait.
Is Auden Pate still kicking? Is he still around?
I think he's doing like motivational speeches now.
God. Not bad, huh?
So we're about to be on the clock, but I do want to ask you about a Penn State guy after
this. So it's interesting that Rice's ADP is higher. So clearly that's your inputs that is vaulting MVS over Rice here because they're effectively like the same. And then your inputs are suggesting not Van Jefferson, but Tyler Higbee is a better move there.
Yeah, but like you can only, this is one where you have to just like use your common sense to be like, I can't start both Waller and Higbee in week 17. So like whatever, I don't care so much about the Higbee boost. Though it is like a Daniel Jones. So I would go.
Good point.
You could either reach for Irv or I would go like Henry Miller, Jalen Warren, or Rice. Just depends.
We are a Jalen Warren show.
Let's go Warren. Yeah.
We have some correlation there with Metcalf.
Yep.
There you go.
It's okay, guys. I found our backstack.
We got ourselves a 2-5-4-1 where we pissed hard and fast early.
We could be done at running back here.
Right.
Yeah, easily could be done. I like that.
We took a lot of viable players, like we took 5 of them that are in that viable range, and before like you start wish casting on guys, and we have some, we can then fill out our bench of wide receivers in case these guys don't have good weeks. But I really like doing this, man. Like if you take 4 straight wide receivers, like why are you taking 7 by round 13? Or 12? Like I just think that to me, I just think it's just not a sound use of your draft capital. I did want to ask you for our dynasty heads in here.
Yeah.
Nick Singleton, is he the truth?
Oh man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Running back for Penn State.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like that might, I don't know, it might keep him down. Like because Katron Allen, we had 2. I use we for Penn State only. I don't use we when I talk about everything.
This is a we show. You get the we card here.
This is a safe space with Numi.
Well, he gets a little bit more of a cop out. He was an alma mater to the school where I have nothing. I just bleed the freaking laundry. Either way, go ahead.
Nick Singleton's the truth. He's a home run hitter. Like when in that mold. Someone was asking about like Miles Sanders. The Miles Sanders problem. Now I'm on a soapbox, but like the problem with Miles Sanders in the NFL is he's just like the prototypical. Like this is like I don't know. Maybe this is just my eyes, but like Penn State guys try and hit a home run every play. Because they're like, for the most part, like really good weight room, like super good athletes. But like that was the knock on Saquon for Giants fans in like year 2, year 1, year 2.
Dancing too much in the backfield, right? Like before
he's like dancing and he's always trying to hit home run versus like head down and get your 3 or 4 yards. Right. And that was like Miles Sanders to a T. And then last year, I don't know, I think it really came together for him. I was always a big fan of Miles Sanders. But anyway, Nick Singleton's the truth. Katron Allen actually might have had just as good, if not better, of a freshman season. So that's pretty nice.
Okay, yeah, he did have a great season. I was not even on him like at all. Like
that it's like similar to like I don't know how in the weeds you are, but like Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards on Michigan, were both like really good. And they're both going to go probably round 1 or 2 real NFL draft. Anyway,
wow,
guys, Irv came all the way back to us, so I think we just clicked that.
Absolutely,
I think so.
Easiest click of the draft for sure.
For sure. Just like we're begging for some
falling for Irv Smith again. Here we shit. Here we go again.
If you're gonna handcuff those Irv Smith shares, do yourself a favor and get a good UW boy Drew Sample in there.
Yes,
there we go.
We love Drew Sample over here. Team preseason, baby.
Team preseason all the way.
Saquon run at the Rose Bowl. I mean, that was an insane Rose Bowl against USC. Sadly lost, but
I had Penn State money line. I thought they were gonna crush. I was so excited for that game.
Yeah, I was at the Rose Bowl this year in what ended up being pouring rain against Utah, where Nick Singleton broke off a 90-yarder. That was fun.
Oh man, that makes it worth it.
Yeah,
Rose Bowl's bucket list for me. I mean, I had one opportunity to go and couldn't swing it when the Dogs played Ohio State. Who was the shit?
Is that Terrell Pryor?
No, it was more recent than that. The quarterback who died recently.
Oh, geez, Dwayne
Pittsburgh guy. Haskins. It was Haskins' year, right? Yeah. Anyways, that's that. How was the experience? Pasadena, Rose Bowl, blah blah blah.
Awesome. Like super cool. Like I've done I mostly go to home games, like because I hate the idea of like traveling to like a Big Ten school and like the drive back like hungover after a loss is just miserable. It's like I haven't visited as many places as I'd like to, but yeah, Pasadena was awesome.
We got clock here. What is the sheet suggesting to us? MVS. Did MVS go? MVS just went.
Go. Yeah. Shit. I mean, I think we probably need a receiver, but it's a tough receiver part of the draft. I don't like Jalen Hyatt.
What about Taysom Hill? Is interesting.
We already have 2 tight ends.
Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
I think,
but I would go. Yeah, I like Chark here.
Okay.
This is a play of like the UD Pick'ems have him at 700 receiving yards.
Yeah.
And he's by far and away like the highest receiving yards in this range as far as what his Pick'em line is. And for Bateman, he goes like 6 rounds earlier and he's at 600 receiving yards. And I know it's a range of outcomes thing and a week to week thing as far as like when you're drafting for BBM, for God's sake. But that just kind of like opened my eyes because I was like I was so like out on Chark just like and whatnot. But seeing 700 yards, man, for a median projection has me wanting to take him in the 14th. That feels like a pretty good pick for wide receiver, but obviously MVS would have been 10 times better. Maybe not 10 times in the sheet, but
like
way better.
20% better. But yeah, like this is one where like Chark doesn't correlate with anything, but it doesn't matter because it's a really good value and he's a good pick. I get triggered when like people stream and they're like only picking guys like at the top of the ADP queue, and that's just like so wrong, I think.
Yeah.
So like, but DJ Chark is past ADP, and his ADP should be higher than earlier than ADP.
Right.
Like I think he's got a real path to being wide receiver 1 on an offense that may probably be bad, but it could be okay. So I really like DJ Chark.
It could hold water, right? I think there's someone there. The Panthers will be, for me, a team where if we can identify a really bad defense that they're playing against, like Miles Sanders seems like he'll be a really nice play in those weeks. And obviously, like if we can get a hierarchy in the wide receiver room, because it's pretty murky, but Chark, like you said, has a path absolutely to being wide receiver 1. But I don't know if you saw it, Bryce Young is really small, so who knows?
Easy, I have a question for you regarding the sheet here. Positional limitations or anything like that, anything baked in, or is it all just IKB at this point? Because it's going to tell us. Okay.
Yeah, you have the IKB. So like similar to John Boy's sheet, like I pulled in the Leone draft capital stuff. So like as you go, it kind of heat maps. Like here we're in like window bucket 2 for QBs. We're very low on running backs. Like obviously you have to be blah blah blah.
We're on the we're on the clock.
Oh yeah, we're on the clocks.
I was really hoping Isaiah Hodgins fell. The sheet is telling us Chuba. I like the Hyatt stat.
Yeah, I don't have much Hyatt, but I think at this point, like past ADP is a good spot for Hyatt, and you can always add more Giants later. I think we could be done at running back with these 5, or we can.
I think so. I think we could be too.
All right, works for me. I was really hoping Hodgins fell back. I think Isaiah Hodgins was the dream there.
Yeah, I do. Like as a Giants fan, I do think Hodgins is probably the wide receiver 1.
I think so too.
Like I think Hyatt is not gonna have a role early, but on this type of team, like I don't need him to have a role early. When you have AJ Brown, Olave, Metcalf, like give me some weeks later.
He really seems like a late bloomer type. Like I really do think he's a good pick for best ball. I think obviously, I mean, he was such like a deep threat in college that lends itself to being a spike week type of player and profile. So I like Hyatt there. Mims, I take a lot of Mims, but if I'm being like honest with myself, the Mims downside is there's so many receivers in Denver, right? And if like Tim Patrick is healthy, and I don't see any reason why he won't be. There's just a lot of bodies there. But obviously you can say the same thing for Hyatt, but I think the competition for Hyatt to beat out is less tough.
Man, there are no wide receivers left.
All right, we're back.
The sheet says Claypool.
I don't.
I could never do that.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would either go
Paris
or Chuba is good here, and we can just grab like 2 more receivers on the way out. Like this is too early for Paris. Like I like Chuba here.
All right,
like we are in window 5. I would go Chuba. Like we're bucket 5 for RBs. So like now we're like definitely done.
Okay.
The thing
we said we were
like
done at RBs, and then we weren't done at RBs just given the fact that we were in X bucket.
If it's the best pick and the bucket, I think at that point you can go there. But we didn't have to. We had if Mims if Mims fell again, then I think we would definitely have to take Mims. But
yeah.
There goes Paris Campbell for no fucking reason.
It's fine.
No,
any story on Giants receivers.
Double Giants backstack, yeah. And then and then the Saquon. So we're making a Giants bet without making a Giants bet. That's all good. Viper took Hodgins, but
I like your take from a fan's perspective about Hodgins being the wide receiver 1, because I just felt that Hodgins was such a just a steady target for Daniel Jones. Like it's like
Mhm.
the thing that stuck out to me was how often he was targeted on like third down and second down whenever they needed like the
Red
sticks.
zone.
Like it was Hodgins, just like they just looked for him, and he was so aware of what to do. I really liked what I saw from him. I'm excited about him.
Yeah, hand in dirt, like he knows the system. Like Dable brought him in off the practice, like the Bills practice squad. Like,
yeah, a little Dable
Thank
trust
you.
there.
Yeah. Question for you, easy. Does the sheet recommend 2, 6, 7, 3 other options, no preference? What about build stuff?
it doesn't explicitly like tell you, but if you were in a slow draft and not streaming, you could mess around with it a little easier.
Yep.
Here, like let's say you're 16 picks in, 17 picks in, you can start typing in like a hypothetical third tight end and see what that does to your points. It's like let's do it.
Okay. Sure.
Like I don't know, like let's pick Jelani Woods for example.
Yep.
Like I don't know, you can see like this says you're at 144. Like you can rerun it. It runs 25 fake sims, like 144, 140, 146, 140, 145. So just have that idea. Sure. If you were to add like Jelani Woods, like it actually went down in this sim, then went up like 41, like 149, 148. So it's adding like a couple points per game. You can kind of mess around. So like, and then you could do like, if let's say Kyler was on the clock. I don't know, Kyler's a bad example because he's like too good in this thing. But
what's Slayton? Oh, you want to do tight end again? Yeah.
Like you could do quarterback and see what that adds. It's like it adds like a little more than tight end in this build, but not always. Basically, like you still have to make your own decision. It's easier when you're not streaming and not doing a fast draft. But
we're on the clock. Sorry.
Yeah.
Slayton feels like my bro science brain goes, we double down on Giants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or triple down on Giants. Okay.
Definitely.
And you've already like that's the thing that I like with Daniel Jones. Like, yeah, there might be 5 or 6 receivers, and you probably end up frustrated when they all have 500 yards. But like, you know, every now and then, like one of those guys is going to get cut. It's probably Jamison Crowder. But Jalen Hyatt might not emerge. Like Sterling Shepard might emerge. I don't know. Like you can always backstack something with dimes and figure
exactly it out. Right. He just the draft capital needed to correlate with him is just so cheap. When you think about the Rams as well, like if we wanted to do Puka here, I would be totally fine with it. With the amount of buzz that he's getting, I think there's probably some legitimacy to him being the wide receiver 3 there. Or
I agree.
If we want, who's our second tight end? We have Irv Smith.
Irvin Waller, like you could add one if somebody falls or is correlated. Like I would say I have more 3 QB than 3 tight end, but I usually have 5 combined.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting.
This feels like.
I mean,
let me make sure before I say. See. The sheet is low key saying Fant right now. We're gonna be on the clock in a second here. I think I like McBride more. You get that run back there.
I'm fine with that if he's there.
I also don't mind Michael Wilson.
Yeah, let's do that.
Receiver because like Waller is like a semi-early pick. The McBride and Ertz thing, like I'm not a huge fan of this 3 tight end, 4 tight end stuff.
We like Michael Wilson over Greg Dortch.
I think Wilson.
I do. I think it's so hard to like. The Cardinals are so short.
Yep.
Like, literally
short. Yeah, they're so fucking small.
They're extremely small, and you could say the same thing. I think that Viper brings up Hodgins being the only one with size on the Giants. You can kind of make that same claim with him, right? Sure. Like, it's part of like why him and Slayton. I mean, Slayton is a different archetype, but I mean, everybody else is just a bunch of like tiny little slots.
Right.
I like once again. I like a team that we drafted on stream. This to me is a threat to take down the regular season prize. This is a nice team.
Okay, let's I want to do some revisionist history here with the tool. Is that like a viable thing we could do? Okay. Sure. Because I'm very curious to see kind of like where we could have improved, where the boosts come, where the correlation. I think it'd be a pretty cool exercise. Let's review it real quick, and then I guess it's all right in here. Boom. There's the squad. AJ Brown, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Hopkins, and then the Mixon Burrow fall combo. Pretty cool little there. Then we opted for the Swift correlation with the Philly stuff. Double tap Giants with Waller Jones. We have no run back off Giants despite having 4 pieces of Giants. 3 pieces of Giants.
That's all right.
4 pieces of Giants.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the only guy in week 17 that's going to score is Cooper Kupp, and we couldn't get him. So, that's what we made the bet there. The only person that mattered there was Cooper Kupp.
Okay. We got Dame Harris. We got Jerick McKinnon. The sheet loved Jerick McKinnon pick. Jalen Warren, the sheet was kind of like split on, where it was like a good run back option, but we thought it was a RB pocket of the draft. The Seattle correlation there.
And Cincinnati week 16. A little random.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's something that I never would have picked up.
You accidentally. You end up accidentally correlating.
Right.
Organically, but yeah.
And then we got the Irv Smith fall, which kind of completed our Cincinnati bet. DJ Shark was just kind of best player available. Hyatt, we were hoping Hodgson's. Chuba was a bucket pick and just kind of best player available, plus a little bit of correlation, or no?
Yeah,
correlation was Shark. Yeah, okay. And then the Slayton bet, and then the Michael Wilson as being the only big receiver at the end there. Let's what's the best way to do this, Easy? If we pop out the last 2 picks, or if we pop out one and kind of just guesstimate, if we take out that last pick and pretend we are still on the clock and had more time to decide, just seeing what kind of happens. Okay. Yeah. Let's do stuff like this. Yes. Okay.
Puka Nacua. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just shot in the dark at how to pronounce that.
Yeah, that's right.
This is made up, right? 3 points per game, whatever, versus Michael Wilson is much higher in based on whatever projections I'm using. But your average boost is actually higher with Nacua because it's re-solidifying. It's you've already bet so much on Daniel Dimes, you should probably add Puka Nacua over Michael Wilson. Even if Puka Nacua just adds to Daniel Jones more than Michael Wilson is there for himself in the Eagles bet. But it's round 19, is it gonna matter? Probably not. It's 6% versus 7%, who cares type stuff. But but that's the first one that came to mind that Nate brought up.
That's pretty
interesting. That is very cool. I mean, this tool is great. It's hard to demonstrate the entirety of its value on the fly like that. I think when people experiment with it on their own merit in slow drafts and stuff, they'll get a way better feel for it. It was easy enough for us to do and talk through while it was on stream, but I think we did a pretty good job. I think we could have done an even better job in a slow draft, or now that we've done it once, do it again and then utilize it, right?
Yeah. I don't have a projection for Eric Gray. Probably doesn't play much this year. But yeah, I think it's another thing you could do if you're kind of crazy is you can make a copy of the sheet and make however many, copy the tabs and just track all of your teams and see how much you're correlating. It's not as good as Pete's tool, on Fantasy Life that tracks your exposures, but you could do stuff like that. Make copies of drafts, or if you're doing high stakes drafts and things like that, you can look at it. But yeah, it's really good for slow drafts when you're on the clock and you have time to think about it and map out. I've just sat here and done mock drafts, and that's just because I'm a sicko, but a lot of times you have a good idea of through this much, if you're here, you're oh, I know at some point I'm going to add Daniel Jones only 10% boost. At some point I'll get Hodgins. If I don't get Hodgins, I get Hyatt or Slayton or Shepard or whatever. But
yeah, no, I think that's really cool because you can just look at the rankings and look at ADP and kind of guess what if somebody falls, and then and just kind of see what kind of boost that does as opposed to getting correlation.
I am the sicko. You are watching the sicko, so I don't know.
Yeah. We're just fiscally conscious over here.
Yeah. If there's one thing we are very good at on this program, it's being self-aware. That is, we are deranged sickos. Yes. Easy. I got one more question for you. You're welcome to stay while we talk golf and do a baseball, but by all means, if I take out that Dame Harris pick right now, will it go back in time and tell me kind of in that pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see this for a second.
Yeah, actually it does. I didn't know that it would work that way, but yeah.
Okay. So can you scroll over to the right just a little bit for us, or unzoom one just so I can see like the boost and stuff? Because I'm kind of curious, because that was like, for me, that was a pick that just, let's compare it to the actual draft board. I will pull it up on the side here. The Dame Harris felt like one where we panicked. We were talking about something else. We were on the clock.
Boyd
Sky Moore had already gone. Boyd had already gone. Elijah,
like Penny, you had Penny there. Like, do we take?
Yeah,
Penny?
and we IKB'd that with the
we
backfield.
IKB'd that. Yeah. That's not.
I want to look at the same team running back boosts. It's like, that's the other thing, is just like work in progress. So as I learn stuff, I like go in and fix things. Yeah, because I don't know about the Penny. That's just like a dead spot in the draft where the receivers all suck and the running backs all have at least one, if not multiple, flaws. It's like,
right.
It just depends on like who you are in the mood for at running back.
Basically,
at that, like I'm like always drafting running backs in this range, and a lot of them will miss, and like one or two is going to be a hit. It's just whatever story. So yeah, Damian Harris. I don't know. I don't love it, but you just kind of.
Rondell was the pick, I think.
Who?
Rondell Moore, just reach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. What's Rondell? No, Rondell went in front. Oh, no, he didn't. He went at 126 right after. If we take Rondell there, we get a little bit of that IKB correlation. We push him up based on some other people in the industry's projections. Some of these people's projections, and then we'll see. Yeah. I don't know.
And then you don't
maybe
if you make a Rondell pick, you probably don't go Michael Wilson later and stuff like that. So yeah, you can play around.
Okay, sorry, I missed that because I was still looking at the draft board. What happened with our team's overall correlated projected points when we take him out and put him in? Yeah. Michael Wilson.
I mean, it ends up being like more or less the same, honestly.
Right. Okay.
Like you're in that mid 140s window, which is like a pretty good draft from like what I've been doing, and like 6 to 7% boost. So it's like it's above my baseline of like what I would be happy with. Like either way.
Okay, what's your baseline that you aim for?
Like over 5, and like double digits on my quarterbacks. So like we don't have a lot behind this Burrow bet, but that's just because like we couldn't get Boyd, and obviously we don't have Chase and Higgins. So this is just like. This one is actually probably more live for a regular season than what I normally draft, and that's just the way that the draft board broke. So that's kind of the variance. It's like we did some week 17 stuff, but like on accident, we didn't, like the Rams didn't come to be, but we have a big Giants bet and we have like a decent Bengals bet, but not like the total nuts Bengals. So,
this is sweet, man. I'm gonna get lost in this thing. Yeah.
It's going to be like, I need to do a best ball draft. It's like, oh, I cannot be at my computer right now. I will pass. No, I'm just kidding.
Like if you have the Google Sheets app on your phone, like you can type it in. And like it's not as easy as doing it on a computer, but
challenge
you
accepted.
can like draft on your phone and have this up.
That's fun.
So.
This is incredible, man. Great work. This is so cool. Thank you for sharing this with us. Yeah, man, this is great. Numi, can you do me a favor and start sharing the Albatross stuff behind the scenes here so we can transition?
Sure.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, easy. Any parting last words? Do you want to share the sheet yet so people can start copying it, or do you want to?
Yeah. I'll share it. Yeah, join the Deposit Kingdom. I'll share it in there. You guys can pin it. If you really like it and you want to help me out, like I don't know, tag people that pay money for best ball things. Like, I don't know, I'll make this free for everyone at this point. Just kind of get this out there as a community resource, but tag your favorite best ball site and tell them that there's this really cool tool. If you want it, or if not, just use it for yourself. If you don't want anything, like, fine too. But
love it. Yeah. And if you want to do the other option that, what Chad's been doing as well, I know people have given him some kickback and stuff for the hard work just to help subsidize or whatever. Just drop a Venmo at the front end of that or something like that. And yeah.
All good. All good.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
man.
I do have to run to the day job, but thanks for having me on, boys.
Yo, appreciate you being here. Love this resource. Love your contributions to the Baza Kingdom. Pleasure, man.
Yeah, great meeting you, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, good to meet you guys. And we're splitting the $3.5 million on this.
Yeah. On that team for sure. I'll put a little asterisk. That's a 4-way chop right there. Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. For both prizes. See you, dude.
There you go, man. Beautiful, man. That was sick. I mean, this is the beautiful thing about Deposit Kingdom, about our community, about all this stuff is I never in my life could even fathom creating that sort of thing. Would I love to? Absolutely. Could I? Absolutely not. So it's just incredible that people are doing this and then giving it away for free just to share it with like-minded people. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
To Easy. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Noomi, I'm seeing some big numbers there. Yeah,
it's the typical. It's the typical like advance. You don't actually get with the numbers there. Yada yada yada. But not everyone can be Sam Olsen. We'll start with that. Yet once again, Sam Olsen, 7 of 11 OG Albatrosses. So just golf claps because I mean he said it just so only 7 of 11 for me or something like that. I'm just like. That is the most unreal sun run ever, as I literally could get 4 of 41 returns, albeit it was 1 of 12. But it was as Nez told me, very interesting week. We had Ricky day one, Ricky and Xander, who basically guys I had 3% of each, put up underdog scores that were truly unbelievable. Ricky put up a score, even though he didn't win, of just, I mean, he had 26 birdies in 2 days or something like that. It was unbelievable. So we had all that. We had Wyndham Clark, a guy that wasn't that owned. And in terms of odds, I think it was like 1,200 or something like that to one. Like his odds were outrageous to even win the Open. So just in terms of that, it was kind of an odd Open. This Open itself was a little more gettable and easy, especially the first day. Sun never came out. The
marine layer, man.
Marine layer was there. Sun never came out. First day, I mean, from point end to point on, I think maybe they got. No, I don't even think they got sun the first day. It was just attackable. The pins were attackable. The fairways, like I mentioned on the stream I did on Wednesday, was some of the widest fairways, if not the widest we've ever seen in a U.S. Open. So these guys just have to hit it far. And granted, if you didn't and you went in the rough, it was a penalty. But if you hit it in the fairway, you were clear cut, ready to go. So it was interesting in that regard. We had the guys come out on top, but yeah, I had 2 of 9 OGs make it. Of course, the way I run, the most unpure itself. Both of these effing teams have Tiger fucking Woods, who has already WD'd from the Open. I went back and looked. I had 3 Tiger Woods teams total. Of course, 2 of them made it, and they both effing advanced in the OG. So I'm already down to 9 of 10 golfers. But there's some pretty fun teams that I like here. Where's my fun one? It's this one right here, in which I have Adam Scott, Justin Rose, and Cam Smith for specifically the Open itself. Those guys play up well and are going to be just have good odds for the Open. So that's the strategy of getting Open guys there is very well. The returns, I mean, I got four in there, which is pretty fun. Yeah. Very chalky in terms of Scotty Scheffler. It's going to be Scotty and Rory. So if you have John Rahm, Cantlay, any of those guys, should be fun. If you somehow have a Justin Thomas team, I know he's been asked, so maybe that's just dead in the water, but there's interesting ownership. But yeah, it was
so who's some of the unique pieces there? Like Fleetwood was probably a guy you needed to push you through after yesterday, I imagine.
He definitely helped. He definitely helped a lot of teams come through. So looking at this, Vic would probably be kind of just in terms of the way the draft boards came out. A lot of the guys that were on this turn, basically this Scotty Scheffler went 101. So guys are on the 2-3 turn are most likely going to kind of be like dragged through, even if they didn't put up a score like that. 92 is no slouch. But I mean, in terms of like a guy, anyone that didn't make the cut obviously is going to be helpful. But like of higher guys that immediately I can think of, it's going to be Justin Thomas. Immediately stands out. He's been terrible for the last year and a half. But I mean, the dude shot like a 10 or like literally a 10 over on the second day, and just it was hilarious. He comes out as a guy immediately. I mean, Siwoo did well, but that's fun itself. Just let me see if I can think here.
The Shane Lowry one's pretty.
Yeah, Shane Lowry's perfect for the. I mean, he advanced. Yeah. He was well. He scored high. Taylor
Fleetwood there.
I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can go to the difference in contest, which Nez kind of pointed out, is like it's interesting how the regular Albatross scored way less than the returns. I put that as in
for sure. Yeah,
it made sense. Like Nez was like we had way more information. Also, just the randomness of it being cut down in between rounds and there being an extra round in the OG. Like some great teams could literally just been screwed out of pod luck and never even got into this round that would have just dominated. So that is interesting to look at. But this was my team.
How much Fowler was just in general?
This one hurts. I'll just say real quick. If Rory birdies one of the last 3 holes. And I know he didn't have the opportunity. It was really just if he gets one more birdie, he only birdied 1 hole. If he just birdies 1, this team wins or gets in, and it's very, very. It was so set up.
Or that Fleetwood putt. You got Fleetwood there too. That Fleetwood putt.
But I believe he had Fleetwood. It was basically between it. I had Rory and he had Scotty. But
that Fleetwood ending was heartbreaking. The last putt on 18 there, like he was about to tie. What was it? 8 under course record.
What was effing heartbreaking was Bryson DeChambeau, who could have, if he pars his holes and doesn't even double bogey and bogey, if he bogeys and doesn't double bogey twice, I think I sneak in an extra 3 teams. I watched as 3 teams just went away as Bryson just went, oh, I don't know how to play golf anymore. So that hurt. But yeah, we're on to the Open. 190 or something like that in the OG Albatross, 360 in the returns. But yeah, anyone let me know. I know there's like 9 people in the longest drive. If you have a team in there, share that with me. That must be a fun sweat. 1 of 9 chance that I think is 20K. It's always fun. So
nice.
But yeah,
two in the OG is sick, man. Two shots at 100K. Yeah. Like, let's go, man. I'm excited for you.
I'm just hoping Tiger's there to coach the boys. Yeah, moral.
That's a good luck charm right there, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm very scared having Scotty on both and not having that Rory team. Rory absolutely just put Royal Liverpool in his he made it his bitch. Like he destroyed that course. So
he's gonna be like, what percentage do you think he's gonna be in the returns, man? Like 70
in the returns. It's gonna between Scotty and Rory, what like 90% total between that, like 40% Rory, 50% Scotty, and then the rest I don't even know. Like if you have a John Rahm team, you're immediately unique. I will say that. So. John Rahm still did okay, but not. But I mean, it was the end round that definitely helped. But
previous
salvaged. Man, it sounds like a lot of people in the chat also having some golf success there. I'm just gonna say it for them, largely part in due to all Numi's free resources and streams. So love to see it. Best of luck to everybody pushing forward in the Albatross here. I'm cheering for my guy Numi. So. Fuck y'all. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Less than
a month.
I believe it's July 17th.
There you go. Here you go. Finals pool just dropped.
Oh, wait, really?
You can give her a little refresh there, and you might be able to see what kind of pods you're in, and there you go.
I'm 6 very bullets. Scared. Oh, well, the pods. Yeah, let's go ahead. There's our boy Scary, Chess Liam. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Okay, Chess Liam, who would have known? Got freaking John Rahm.
Got John Rahm through. Wow. That's
That's
good.
fun. Let's go see the boy. Let's go. Maybe it'll be too long to try and scroll. I figured I'd just see Sam and his.
Freezer's got a couple bullets in there. What else
course
is
he does.
new? Sam Wilson's got.
What is this
Holy
nonsense?
smokes.
Okay, so he's got
How
John
many
Rahm,
person final? How many person final?
360, I believe. or
In the
390.
Albatross?
Oh, sorry, in 190 in the Albatross, right?
190 in the Albatross, and Sam Wilson, our guy's got 7 bullets.
That's
Yeah, that
wild.
wasn't. I mean, I'm not even gonna kid with you. The teams that I did, the bottom team I just saw here. I mean, he has freaking Padraig, which is just unbelievable, man. What a
Wow.
pick! And
Wow.
Jordan Spieth.
Hey,
I'm not,
There you go,
two John Rahm teams.
260,
Will Zalatoris.
260 and 390 in the return. Yeah,
That's
Sam's a
awesome,
different
Sam.
breed. Big shouts there.
All
right, cool.
I need to know is I will say, Sam, you need another John Rahm team. I need to know your pod luck because I had 2 teams that scored, or the one that scored 296 and another one that scored like 287, and that was close. I need to see if these teams were all dominated or if we just snuck them through and it was pod luck.
Am I as sharp as Sam? Because we have the same amount of Albatross returns teams. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Who's to say? How many you got there, Nez?
I got 2 little bullets in there.
Nice. Love to see it.
Nothing too bad. It's because I took a stance in these returns and I was like, I'm going Rory 101, and I had like 80% Rory, and turned out he was the retroactive 1-1. So
Wow.
that was helpful, but I still got 2 in. So if I win, I gotta give a little tip to Numi for sure, because I would not be in the finals if it wasn't for our boy Numi.
They're getting paid out.
Right.
This is weird to see.
Oh, there
I've
you
never-
go. Yeah, it's just
I've never
In
seen
real
this.
time.
More
in real time. It just keeps going.
Kylo
Give
Ren,
us more. That's
Nice.
funny.
That's fun.
All right, Albatross getting paid out in real time. Best luck to everybody still hanging around in those. My single bullet in the return fell victim to a 3rd place finish. Devastating.
No.
Just devastating.
That was a fun team too.
Yeah, that was nice too. I remember that team.
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to transition into baseball. We're going to do baseball rapid fire today. Maybe just rip one draft and call her a stream, because this has been a pretty long and intense one with the sheet there. That took some brain power there to keep rolling. I'm going to bring up, for those who don't know, Nez has been doing the take sheet. Even on the weekends, he has been doing the take sheet. And now this take sheet does not just reside on Google Docs. It resides on its very own website, neztakes.com.
Surprisingly cheap to own a .com domain.
Nobody wanted Nez Takes for $9.99 a month or $9.99 a year.
I pay annually, baby.
You love to see it.
It keeps me honest, right? If I pay up front, then it's like I got to keep it maintained.
I think we should start. Well, we're going to start with the Nez Takes from now on. I'll just bring up weather right quick. Does this even look correct? Colorado at Cincinnati.
Yeah. I was just gonna give it an update. I'm gonna check. I think it's still yellow orange for Colorado and Cincy. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. I'm a little worried about it. Roth is always errs on the side of caution, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. No lean as of right now.
Looking at I didn't see the winds in the Giants game.
In the Giants, wind blowing out, but as we always allude to, in a park that minimizes the wind impacts. Your notes so far. This is a 7-gamer, so this is right in the sweet spot for both us and anyone really who likes to play the baseball slates. I think 7 is kind of the sweet spot. Where are your eyes going today, Nez? What are you liking early?
So I try to do this without looking at like ADPs first. I really try to keep this as unbiased as possible with where the market is. And so to start, like the pitching options on the main slate are pretty deep. I really like the top 4, especially with Paxton, Burns, Merrill Kelly versus the Brewers, And I like Hunter Brown. I think the Hunter Brown stance is a bit of a bold call because he's going up against the Mets and they have Pete Alonso back, but I think Hunter Brown is still a decent option here. I might give I want to give Waka a little bit more of a boost, but he for me is probably more of a cycle target. But regardless, on the main slate, a lot of good pitching options to choose from. You're not going to get locked out of anybody that should kill your lineup, thankfully. And because we have deep options there, it kind of makes for trouble in the offensive side of things when we're choosing some batters. It does pose us with some issues. There's some not great matchups going on. There's players that are pitching probably better than their results are indicating. So you kind of have to make some stands here. And I will say I kind of buried the lead here, but I'm rocking the Pirates shirt, of course. But Henry Davis making his debut today for the Pirates. We don't have the lineup yet, so we don't know where he's going to be. We're not sure if he's playing outfield or catcher. Hopefully he's catching. And that to me is definitely a boost for the Pirates. We can't draft him. He's not in the player pool. However, the Pirates get
context.
Drew Smiley. So there's definitely something there. They're guessing that he bats seventh. That's probably safe. They usually don't put rookies up too high. They don't want to give him too much pressure, but I think he should either be leading off or hitting cleanup personally. But
okay.
We'll see what they do. Smiley's been really good as a lefty, I mean his
Except for
ERA
last time out.
What did he even do last time out? I don't even really remember.
I think he gave up like 4 runs in the first inning, but then kind of righted the ship a little bit there.
Yeah, like he hasn't really been getting like blown up. Like he's a pretty good pitcher. He gave up 5 earned runs to the Pirates last game. The reason I don't remember that is because I don't think I won anything despite being on the Pirates that day. So he gave up 3 bombs to the Pirates. That was in Pittsburgh. He's back in Pittsburgh again. And interesting slate. I caveat in this post, right, that like these are just like how I'm playing. These are just like my opinions. I try to not keep it too data heavy. I mean, there's literally no data in there, but it's all backed by like results and stuff like that. I'm going to be taking a lot of Pirates today. It's just what I do. When the Pirates face a lefty, I take a lot of Pirates. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wait for that to hit. And I said the same thing with the Rangers. Like the Rangers obviously have a very high implied run total today. They are being drafted like they are in a good matchup today. And I'm going to keep hitting Rangers 1 through 9 in various combinations until they like win me a tournament, because they're just a team that is too good to be running this cold like they have been lately.
Yep.
And we're not sure who we're getting in Chicago yet, but it's probably not going to be anybody that good. And we got the winds blowing out today. So I'm going to be like, if I could make any sort of like TLDR call, Rangers and Pirates.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. To piggyback 2 of those things that you're saying, Rodolfo Castro, lefty killer, home run pop. He's one of those one-off names that you can get to from the Pirates side that fits my mold of guys I always look to when they're facing a lefty. And then the other one was with Texas. Your thesis came to fruition just through a different team on a 13-game slate of an offense that is very, very good collectively, that was being underdrafted one of the days and then gets home with the piece you need in Justin Turner on Friday or Saturday slate, where it was everyone was on Devers, but nobody else was building out the rest of that offense. And you needed to just hone in on that offense and focus on those bats to get home. I think Freezer won that night with a 3-man stack from a good hitting team that had a high implied run total, but everybody and their dog was stacking Braves and somebody else that night, and nobody was getting to full stacks from the Red Sox. They were just getting to Devers as one-off. That thesis could come to fruition tonight with the Rangers. That's effectively the same bet, just a different team on a different slate. Anything else to add here, gentlemen, or should we look at ADP and hop in a draft?
Let's just hop right in. I think you'll find the current ADP landscape to be interesting. Like I said, just because there's not in my opinion, any like clear-cut smash spots outside of potentially Rangers. Once we figure out who's pitching, okay, well, Seager is the 101, so
there you go. The people are on the Rangers early.
They are, but as you can see, it clearly it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So nobody's really sure what to do. There's not a clear-cut hierarchy. Corbin Carroll, I mean, he's just truly inevitable. He's going to do his thing. You know, like if you want to, it's tough with Corbin Burns on the mound. Burns is really like rounding into some really nice form here. I don't think I'm going to have a ton of D-backs today, despite it being a 7-game slate where you can kind of cover your bases on every team if that's what you want to do. I don't think I'm going to get there necessarily with the with Arizona.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that. I mean, Corbin Burns is returning to form. He is say again.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was looking at the White Sox. They're projecting Jesse Schultens. I did see that yesterday.
Yeah. No, Tim Anderson too. Tim Anderson got hurt over the weekend. Not that he has been doing anything as of yet, but just
I know, really a big bummer. His season right now has just really been poor.
Mm-hmm. Classic Minnesota having the lineup out already.
I love it. I love it. They respect gamblers so much. They're just saying, "Hey guys, here you go."
Yeah. I mean, I think I will be leaning into this weather situation with the Cincinnati stuff. I just see Cincinnati as so beautiful today. We get a Seager fall here to 4.
Ooh.
Nez likes the Rangers. We're gonna go ahead and build some Rangers here.
Yeah, if the room's gonna give you this, just take it. Big Ol' Kitties, hilarious name, is in like all these drafts. Big Ol' Kitties is in so many of my baseball dailies. I do think it's probably smart, John, to lean into the weather early. The way that Roth is writing this up, it seems like something that if it does get called, it will get called like early. So something to consider, because it gives you options to it gives you swap options later. And if we get a potential upgrade where Roth isn't as concerned, then you are probably you are no doubt getting values on both sides of this game, particularly the red side, where they have so many righties that can just bash Austin Gomber, and it looks really nice. I mean, take your pick: McLean, Steer. India's questionable, so maybe not India.
The India questionable one, I think I'm going to lean in. It was weird. Kyle Tucker stole second, and then there was like a tag play, and his arm kind of got caught, and it was just like a bang bang weird play, but he stayed in the ball game. So I'm not like reading a ton into it. Maybe they give him a rest day, something like that. But the play looked just like weird and fine, and it was late in the ball game. So I don't know.
Interesting. I'll have to look more into that.
He just slid into his hand, basically.
Okay.
I think we just do the no-brainer stack of Simeon. Yeah. I think it's going to be a little harder to obtain.
It will be.
Did you guys see Simeon get ejected the other day?
I missed that. So I saw he got ejected. He's normally not the type to get too heated.
Never gets too heated, but he got rung up on like some real ugly stuff. And it was like a down the line of everyone getting ejected. It was pitching coach Mike Maddox comes out first, and then he gets ejected, and then he starts arguing, and the manager Bochy runs out. Then Bochy gets ejected, and then Simeon keeps talking now that both of them have been ejected, and then he gets ejected, and this guy was just like wearing out his shoulder, throwing these guys out of the ball game. It was pretty funny. You got to see the clip. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also,
was that the check swing or no? No, good. Never mind.
Yes, no, you're right. It was a check swing. I think that's what it was. It was a check swing because it was the first base umpire who was throwing them all out. And from my vantage point, it looked like he held. Garcia goes there.
So Pay brings up a good point that the White Sox are also a pretty good matchup. They face Heaney today, a lefty, and that's like murderer's row of righties. But
yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go with Luis then. You're gonna twist my arm into the tool shed in a good matchup. Come on.
And it's a run back.
I'll twist your rubber arm into someone else as well.
Oh baby, give me a little. You don't even have to say his name.
That's why I haven't
already
said
know.
it. Yeah,
I already know.
Well, I'll never say it.
There was one more. We were talking about funny stories from the weekend and stuff. You guys got to look up this one that GA is alluding to here. William Karlsson got banged up at the celebration, and he falls on the stage. He drops some F-bombs. He cranks a beer out of the cup. It's good stuff. So go look up William Karlsson's celebration for the Golden Knights. It was a beautiful thing. I think they kind of come out of like a castle looking awning, and he just yard sails full send backwards. It's good. His feet go out from under him. It's very good.
Hockey celebrations are just like a danger to everybody involved.
Yeah. The boys know how to. If there's two things the boys know how to do, it's chirp and drink. That's what the Canadian boys know how to do. Oh, man.
That's great.
Actually, I made a big mistake on Saturday night. Well, let's talk about baseball first. Let's talk about baseball first here.
I will say Machado's feels like a good value. The Giants are going to be throwing a bullpen game, so if you don't like bullpen games, I totally hear that.
Yep.
I just like Machado. I just think
you know what's funny is San Diego going to the Giants. Actually a park upgrade.
Right. A little bit.
It's pretty funny.
Because they're so low to sea level there. I really would have liked Paxton.
Yeah, Paxton feels nice there. Man, I lost so much money on Byron Buxton the last couple slates.
I know.
I'm thinking we build out a little cheeky White Sox here. Eloy
there?
Yeah, I like Eloy, but then I think we should go pitcher first if we're going to go Eloy, and I think I like Hunter Brown over this bunch. Do you guys?
I like Hunter Brown a lot.
Let's jump the shark here. Let's take Hunter Brown over that grouping of pitchers there. I think I prefer him. And then this gives us multiple outs to tacking on Rangers outfield and White Sox outfield. If you can't see because of the overlay, we got Hunter Brown, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and the tool shed. So I think there's an easy Chicago backstack. And I think there's also two middle infield options for Texas if we get frozen out of that backstack.
That's the one thing that I really like about the Rangers is that you will always have options in the main slate and in the last rounds if you want to stack something cheeky, just because Leody Taveras is like so underrated, and so is Ezekiel Duran, and both of them in their own right. And these guys they just mash top to bottom. And I mean, you can even, I think Jonah Heim is a sit candidate today. He played yesterday, hit a dong. Okay. I think he played pretty much all weekend against the Angels or the Blue Jays. They went Angels then Blue Jays. So he's probably due to sit one of these days, and they're traveling. So who knows? But Garver is out there potentially. Josh Young hasn't been drafted yet.
Josh Young's still there. Yeah, he was the one that comes to mind for me. But,
sorry.
No, you're good. I don't mind. This is half the fun of drafting on stream too, is pushing you out of your comfort zone as you name drop. I don't get mad about snipes anymore. I prefer it, to be honest. It really challenges you to draft differently. Like it.
It's good content. I'll tell you that much. It is good content.
Yeah. For me, it's Eloy here. If you guys like that? Outfield feels a little thin.
I mean,
outfield feels a little thin.
That's like Heaney kryptonite right there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Heaney kryptonite is sitting right in front of us in Jake Berger, but
God, Noomi, shut up. It was literally
John.
We've been saying. I said Noomi. I told Noomi like 2 minutes ago. I said, yeah, there's an outfield backstack. We just had to get the outfielder first because there's nothing else there, and Freezer's full up at infield here. This is the backstack. We have double outs here to my lefty killer. You don't think we're all over it? You said 2 minutes ago, Numi. You're like, and there's a name. There's a name, and I was like, I know the name.
Should have taken him already.
No, we're drafting intelligently here.
His morale is hurt that he's our 6th round pick. We should have taken him. Already.
You know,
now he's not going to hit a home run.
His morale's hurt by his bad defense. That's what his morale's hurt by. He's got the best mustache.
That's evergreen for a White Sox player.
Yeah.
I'm going. Go ahead.
Off the cuff, right here. German 3 from Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
The 3 best mustaches in fantasy relevant baseball. Jake Rogers, Jake Berger, Andrew Chafin.
Carpenter.
Andrew Chafin and Jake Rogers are the same person.
Carpenter.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. Numi. You're lucky. Yeah. You're off the hook. Lefty killer.
He still
Jake
be a part
Berger
of the group.
Back.
Yes,
he's still back.
Still here.
I said I wouldn't get mad at Snipes. I'll get mad at Numi spilling the beans though.
I did just say I would shut up, and then I'm like, just say the name.
Numi, does this? You tell me if you agree with this. So like, I'm not in on the Twins, but I'm asking if you agree with this point. Does this not seem like the quintessential spot where the Twins
100%.
Are set up against a really good starter, and they're just like, you know what? Like, screw your projections. Here's 8 runs down your throat.
Yeah, to that point, what did I say to you in just our Discord, where it's just like, yeah, I'm like, MLB slate seems fun. I'm like, because it's baseball, watch the Twins explode against Big Maple.
Yeah,
like just because it's baseball and because of what we've seen from the Twins, and they're so pushed down, and Big Maple has just been he's been great. He's been fantastic. Just watch it. Be like, oh no, here come here come the baseball gods, and the Twins put up their, oh, we haven't scored him, whatever. Hold up, guys. We gotta maybe tack some on for the previous games and score freaking 12 runs tonight. Like, yeah, sure.
Feels inevitable.
I'll also say this, guys. It's gonna be 91 degrees in Minneapolis tonight.
Oh,
it's gonna be 90 degrees minimum for the next 4 days.
Nice.
Wow. So it is sticky, it is hot, it is uncomfortable. The ball is going to be flying if it gets hit. So
that's a good nugget.
Whether
it's
us or not, but yeah, it is sticky and hot out here. So good baseball weather.
One interesting thing about Cincinnati right now is what we're gonna see with Cincinnati. Throw the weather out the window for a second, and we just talk about building out the Reds right now. What we are going to see over and over again based on ADP is Ellie, McLean, and then Spencer Steer. Then you're going to see some combination of people trying to get cheeky and mix in Jonathan India with the Q tag, blah, blah, blah. If we're looking at lineups right now, I have no idea what we're going to see against Austin Gomber, because they're only good outfielders that are outfield eligible on the platform with ADPs right now. Fraley's left-handed. TJ Frito's left-handed. Don't know what we're going to see there, because typically one of those two would be leading off, or they would be hitting 1-2, something like that. I'm not sure we see that today, which means maybe we get Kevin Newman leading off, and that's a huge discount right now for a leadoff hitter in a quality matchup against Gomber in the best park if this game plays. So I would be looking to get a little cheeky with stacks like that. And then I have no idea what to think of outfield eligibility if we don't get those two. Like, full stacks might not even be a potential here. We could potentially be getting Will Myers back. Nick Senzel will probably play the outfield against a lefty, but he's not outfield eligible on the site. It's a very tricky situation to navigate here with Cincinnati today, both in terms of eligibility and weather. So I'm not sure. I'm just kind of saying that I think I have a lean that between Friedel and Fraley, one of them sits, and I don't think either of them lead off.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, very well wrapped up. Newman, I think even if he is in the lineup, I don't think he's going to get taken too early. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but that top three of Ellie, McLean, and Steer, and I think I actually prefer McLean and Steer over Ellie, is going to be really, look really good today if we don't get any rain messing up
I will
our slate.
piggyback the Steer being my favorite of that group, because you want to talk about another lefty killer guy. Give me Steer with the pop there comparatively. Ellie's bad side of the plate is right-handed.
From what I can tell, at least.
Yeah. Very interesting slate. Very fun slate. Glad we did a little bit of that. If anybody else needs some more insight, go start here with Nez's article. What are we calling it? An article now? That's a lot of words. This is more than a sheet, Nez.
I don't know what to call it. It's like it's like a sheet. I call it a sheet, and then it's a blog, and it's a post.
Nice.
They're words.
They're words about baseball.
That's what it is.
Anyone else that we missed on? Anyone else that you guys want to talk about ADP value? Any Numi, you kind of missed the preamble when we were talking the original stacks or anything like that. Anywhere you want to allude that your eyes are going to?
Yeah, no, I from what I was looking at immediately was the I mean, obviously Rangers and Padres have the best offense first attackable pitcher like the setup there. After that, I enjoyed the Reds. Spencer C was my guy I was getting this morning in my 3 drafts that I did. It was very fun to just get a little one off of him. In terms of like other teams, I think the Twins and Red Sox are both not only one off, but stackable options. Okay. I really think, I mean, one ball, the fly balls that were stopped at the warning track, even a little bit before the warning track in the games, months in here, are going to be home runs. It's sure just going to be gone. Fly, I mean, it's just going to be anything like that. Granted, they're better pitchers, so I think that's fun because everyone's taking Paxton and Jorge Lopez like as
double
in the top
bubble
3 pitcher. So exactly for that double bubble leverage. And then as you said there, I enjoy some Pirates. I think those are it's fun. Basically for when I think about Drew Smiley, it's he can't keep the meme. He can't keep getting away with this, Jesse Pinkman. Like one of these it's gotta blow up. But that's fun. And then, like you said, the White Sox against the lefty is on. This slate is really, really fun. Perfect number of games, a lot of different options, whether it be full stacks, mix and match, getting a one-off from a team. I think a lot of things are viable. But yeah, Padres, Rangers, and then I think one of the teams is bound to blow up in that game and give you that double bubble in the Twins and Red Sox. So
yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I like the shout on that the Twins and Red Sox with the weather there. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other let me see the button here. There we go. Any parting words, gentlemen? We will be back tomorrow on the Underdog HQ channel, link in the bio. If you are not subscribed to that, we'll be talking more baseball, more in-depth baseball. Check out Nez Takes. Yeah, anything else, gentlemen?
Good luck. I'll see you in the lobbies.
Same. Nothing to draft for baseball. We're back, baby.
We're so back. We are so back.
Never been more back.
Yeah. And this is down season, right? OTA is coming to a close. There's not going to be all the little blurbs and nuggets that are super actionable week over or day over day. So this is peak baseball season, peak baseball draft season. Yeah, thank you to EZ. Thank you to Eric for displaying that tool alongside us, for having some trust in us to not completely botch the hell out of it in its utilization on stream there. We'll post that in the Deposit Kingdom Discord for those of you who are not members in that. Link in the description below. It'll be in the Badge Bros channel. And do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell on the way out the door. Does wonders for us. We are still working on the membership stuff behind closed doors and getting those emotes and stuff out, but they're coming. I promise they are coming soon, and they will be coming on the Underdogs channel soon as we get 40 more subscribers. So do us a favor, if you're not subscribed to that one, but you're subscribed here, go ahead, just click that. Come on, 2 clicks for the boys, please. One time. Okay. On behalf of Numi, Nez, myself, special thanks to EZ for being here. Everybody's favorite time of the show. Good luck in the baseball streets tonight. The end. Peace.